Now, we do have a distinguished speaker on the line for you, and to introduce that speaker, I want to welcome the leader of our Sasol Techno X team, Noxolo Kahlana, to come on stage and tell you a bit more about this speaker. Welcome, Noxolo.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning to the learners and everybody joining us online on our 20th Sasol Techno X. I am Noxolo Kahlana, the head of the Sasol Foundation. We are greatly honored today and very humbled to have DDG Sam Zungu from the Department of Higher Education to do a closing address for our 20th Sasol Techno X today. DDG Zungu, we have been courting your office for quite a while, just before I go through your profile quickly. And we're really grateful you honored us today because we have very strong synergies with your office. We've started being part of lecturer development, which was previously done by GIZ. We are training 159 lecturers in plumbing, electrical, and welding. We're also rolling out digital skills training. We funded about 250 lecturers this year, and we're aiming for about 1,000 by June 2023. And we had a beautiful gift from one of our speakers and long-term partners yesterday, EdCop and Synergy Mining, via Johan Prinsloo, one of their leaders. They gave us apprenticeship for 3 years for all the national winners of the skills competition. All the number 1, 2, and 3. So it's such a big thing. Dr. Maling is very excited about that. So we're looking forward to sealing that partnership. Now, in introducing you, DDG, I usually don't enjoy or don't like reading long profiles. But if I'm excited and encouraged and inspired by a profile, I know I'm not the only one that will be inspired. So for the benefit of the learners, my colleagues, and everybody, I will have to read the DDG's profile because I don't know how he has achieved all of this. But I'll try to be quick, colleagues. DDG Sam Zungu hails from Mpangeni, northern east of KZN. He is a South African renowned technical and vocational education and training advocate who has spent more than 24 years as a skills development and training practitioner. He started his career as a junior lecturer at the then Richards Bay Technical College in the mid-90s. He then climbed the ladder to become a senior lecturer, head of department, campus manager, deputy principal, corporate services, and eventually became a principal of Umfolozi TVET College from 2010 till 2019. Dr. Zungu's accomplished experience has been successfully demonstrated both locally and internationally. As a former TVET College principal, he has been instrumental in building and strengthening TVET College or industry partnership, both locally and internationally. He facilitated accreditation and training opportunities on skills, learnerships, and apprenticeship programs with more than 18 SETAs. Developed and strengthened partnership with local industry for student work placement. Dr. K, please get in touch with the DDG's office. We're battling with this. Workplace-based experience for lecturers and donations for training equipment. They include, but are not limited to, Bell Equipment, South 32, Richards Bay Minerals, Richards Bay Coal Terminal, Mondi Paper, Sapi Paper, Tronox, Fourscore, and many others. He facilitated agreements. We've got a lot to learn from the DDG, oh my God. He facilitated agreements with a number of government departments for student work placements as well as skills training opportunities with Kochta, social development, agriculture, economic development, small business development and tourism, environmental affairs, basic education, transport, health, human settlement, public works, sports, arts and culture, and recreation. On international partnerships, just to highlight but a few, and collaborations established. In Germany, the DDG facilitated an international cooperation between Umfolozi TVET College and their KSW It's a German word. There is no way I'm going to try to pronounce it. But it starts with Kreishandkerskraft. It starts with that. For the promotion of dual apprenticeship exchange program, focusing on civil and construction trades. In South Korea, he facilitated an international cooperation between Umfolozi TVET and the Korean Polytechnics, Korea Electric Power Corporation, Korea Nuclear Association for International Cooperation, and Korea Solar Power Consortium for the provision of solar energy training programs to both staff and students. In Sweden, he facilitated an international cooperation between Umfolozi TVET College and the Kalmar Maritime Academy for the establishment of Umfolozi Maritime Academy research as well as capacity building initiatives. It is under his stewardship that Umfolozi TVET College received a number of accolades, such as National Skills Authority Best Skills Program, Gold Award, National Skills Authority Best Artisan Development Program, a Gold Award, National Skills Authority Best TVET Placement Program, a Silver Award, and many more. My last paragraph, I need water. DGG Zungu has also served on a number of boards, various portfolios, which include, but not limited to, chairperson of both Transport, Education and Training Authority, TITA, the Quality Council of Trades and Occupations, TVET advisor for NSFAS, administrator, UKZN council member, ministerial appointee, advisory board member of the South African International Maritime Institute, board member of Higher Health, formerly HEA-IDS, Secretary General of South African College Principals Organization, KZN Chairperson of SACPO, King Tshwayo District Chairperson of the National Education Collaboration Trust, NECT, and Ministerial Task Team member of the establishment of South African Institute for Vocational and Continuing Education and Training. He holds a higher diploma in education from University of Cape Town, Bachelor of Public Admin, Honors, Master of Public Administration, and MBA, all from University of Stellenbosch. Digital Transformation Certificate from Gibbs, and currently a PhD in Public Administration candidate at the University of Zululand. Ladies and gentlemen, all the learners, please welcome DDG Sam Zungu. I am inspired.
I was about to stop you at some point. But thank you very much, Ms. Noxolo Kashana, for this very kind introduction. My greetings to the director of the program, and also extend greetings to Dr. Malinga of the Sasol Foundation, the management and staff of the Sasol Foundation and entire Sasol Techno X team. Excuse me. Mr. Enzai, for such an inspiring presentation. I was really inspired, and I hope that I will take some of the notes so that I can continue to solve those mathematical problems. Honored guests, all the education managers and practitioners, the panelists that were here earlier on this morning, the learners that are part of the STEM programs, ladies and gentlemen, all the viewers that are joining us on the platform, a very, very good morning to all of you. Let me first take this opportunity to thank the Sasol Foundation for extending an invitation to us as the Department of Higher Education and Training to be part of this very auspicious occasion. We also need to give the Sasol Foundation and the Techno X organizers and participants a big round of applause as we celebrate this 20th anniversary. I must say 2 decades is such a very long time, and I don't know how you've managed to ensure that you continue to run these programs with such enthusiasm. I must really congratulate you and well done for all what you have achieved. and also to congratulate those that were there at the beginning from the conceptualization of this particular program for their ingenuity as well as their forward thinking. I also wish to congratulate all those young people who were competing in their respective trades and hope that in future we'll probably scale up this kind of competitions unoxolo, to include the participants that are also coming from the TVET colleges. And indeed, that will also assist us in ensuring that we expand the pool of participants in the world skills. And I know Sasol has been part and parcel of that journey. And we hope that with this kind of skills that we are now seeing from basic education, it will filter through to our TVET colleges. But I also hope that with this initiative, it also changes the perspective about TVET college education. And I'm sorry that my address today would be more biased towards the TVET education, because that's a sector I know, that's a sector I grew up in, and every time I get a platform to sell TVET, I will do so. And I think as Sasol, you'll also do that. When you see the crowd, you see people, you'll make sure that by the time you leave, they've been Sasoled. In my case, I'll make sure that by the time I leave here, you've been TVET. So thank you very much. And I hope that those learners that we have seen who were competing in those various trades, they will make TVET colleges as their first choice in terms of articulating to post-school education, as opposed to them going to universities, for instance. I've got nothing against universities, but I think as a country, there is a need for us to put more emphasis on driving skills that are acquired from TVET colleges, so that we can be able to change what is popularly known as, is called the inverted pyramid, where the majority of the students that move or articulate to post-school education, their first choice becomes university. So in the middle of the pyramid, you'll find that it's the universities, and at the tip of the pyramid is then the TVET colleges. If you go to most of the developed countries, it's the other way around. From basic education, the majority of the learners, if I take the likes of Germany, I will teach you how to pronounce that word. In Germany, it's called the Kreishandwerkerschaft. It's just 3 words combined, Kreishandwerkerschaft. But it's basically about the trades and how we can advance those trades. So we want to see South Africa also taking that shape as a developing country, that we need more skilled people that can then ensure that our economy continues to thrive. If we talk about entrepreneurs, for instance, which I've now coined, because we are now developing entrepreneurs from TVET sector, I call them TVETpreneurs. Because these are the artisans that have acquired skills over the years, and they are now applying their trades. In Germany, you need to be at a master artisan level. You become an artisan, and then you move to the master artisan level. That becomes a license for you to actually start a business. So it then eliminates all these shoddy works that ends up being done by people that are not really qualified and having the proper skills. We will stop complaining about somebody that was supposed to fix your car but did not do the good work. You will stop complaining about people who are supposed to be building you a house but did not do the proper work, if we ensure that we send more of our young people in the TVET colleges. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will agree with me today that education is the key for obtaining knowledge and skills, for gaining a better understanding and taking action. Inclusive skills development and lifelong learning opportunities are vital to prevent people from being left behind, to maintain people's employability and to ensure that economies and enterprises continue to thrive. Program Director and ladies and gentlemen, we all know how passionate our late first state president of the Democratic Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Dr. Nelson Mandela, was about education. On that note, allow me to steal from one of his most famous quotes. I quote, "It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of a farm worker can become the president of a great nation. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another." End quote. Ladies and gentlemen, it is evident from Mandela's words that he really believed that through education, we can be able to become what is called the change agents, and thus influence change in our communities. As the Department of Education and Training, particularly our TVET and Skills Development System, we strive to fulfill the demand of all people seeking to learn relevant new skills in order to improve their career prospects, income, or professional status. By equipping individuals with knowledge, skills, and competencies linked to labor market demands, TVET systems are recognized as crucial instrument for increasing employability, better job prospects, and potentially improving social inclusion. The role of TVET colleges today is inseparably bound into National Development Plan, which is our Bible as a country, which is its inherent goals are: 1, to raise employment by means of accelerated economic growth; 2, to improve the quality of education, skills development, and innovation; and lastly, to build the capacity or the capability of the state to be a developmental and transformative agent. It is within this sphere of the second goal that TVET colleges are viewed as the active change agents. The former special advisor to the Minister of Education and Training, Mr. John Pampalis, argued, I quote, "Developing the scarce skills needed by our economy and extending this type of training to previously disadvantaged groups should not be equated with simply trying to meet the needs of business. Rather, it is meeting the needs of the South African economy, which we all rely on to provide the resources necessary for ending poverty and unemployment. In addition to big business, all employers, including the state-owned enterprises, the cooperative and non-governmental organization sectors, and small business will benefit from a more skilled workforce. Even more importantly, those who develop their abilities and become skilled workers will benefit," end quote. The question we therefore need to ask ourselves as government, working collaboratively with private sector, how do we ensure that our education system is able to produce the kind of skills that is needed for the prosperity of our economy and our communities? How do we ensure that our education system produces what is called the top performers? To quote an Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which is known as OECD, comment about top performers. They say top performers or performing students in science can use abstract scientific ideas or concepts to explain unfamiliar and more complex phenomena and events. In mathematics, they are capable of advanced mathematical thinking and reasoning. In reading, top performers can retrieve information that requires the student to locate and organize several pieces of deeply embedded information from a text or a graph. Learning about STEM education has gained traction not only in South Africa but also worldwide, as cross-disciplinary as opposed to monodisciplinary. Knowledge and skills are valued modern times to meet the demands of the fourth industrial revolution, or perhaps we rather be saying now of the fifth industrial revolution, as we know that most of the countries have moved towards that direction. As the Department of Education and Training, it is therefore our duty to ensure that our curriculum meets the 21st century education competencies, such as the critical thinking and inventive thinking. We heard Mr. Enzai emphasizing that on critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and information skills, a confident person, a self-directed person, and an active contributor. The shift towards more project-based education system has never been more significant than it has ever been in order for us to produce more solution or oriented individuals. We need problem solvers, not those that create problems. The advent of the fourth industrial revolution places importance on digitization and technology on human life and communities. We are witnessing the impact of these new phenomena, such as the artificial intelligence, robotics, coding, etc. Their impact on transformation of the lives of ordinary people has never been more significant than ever. Responding to the potential impact of the STEM economy, our Minister of Higher Education and Training, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, because his department has got his minister has got two departments, Honorable Dr. Blade Zimande and other leaders have voiced the importance of STEM education in the country. Our ministry, as you all know, it consists of two departments, Science and Innovation, as well as Department of Higher Education and Training. These two departments have been working collaboratively on a number of initiatives focusing on promoting the STEM education. In trying to infuse STEM in our curricula as the Department of Higher Education and Training, we've embarked on a process to review curricula on programs offered in TVET colleges, as well as other systems within the post-school system. In order to ensure their relevance, currency, and alignment to the needs of the industry and society, 22 more subjects have been revised, with the N4 Business and Studies and Services Studies subject being implemented in the first semester of 2022 and at N5 level in the second semester. The N4 Engineering Studies have also been revised, where we have now started to implement in the first trimester of 2022. Colleges are continuously updated on the revised subjects and how to access relevant curricular documents through circulars. And we hope that this information will also be shared with the career or life orientation teachers in schools so that they can be able to inform our young learners in the schools in terms of their career paths. The National Certificate Vocational, the IT and Computer Science stream that focuses on robotics was approved by Umalusi, and colleges will now apply to offer this program starting from 2023. Colleges will have to satisfy the set criteria in 2022 in order to qualify to offer such programs. STEM subjects are central to the effective delivery of all of these skills that I've mentioned above. With globalization, new developments in ICT, and advances in science and technology impacting on society, the competitiveness of nations are at stake. Jobs are taking flight. Some traditional vocations are at risk of being irrelevant, and job functions are coalescing and moving up to the value chain. South Africa, like all the nations, need to take attention of these developments and respond accordingly to the challenges so that their people are better equipped with the skill sets to thrive in the new economy. The modern economy is very much driven by STEM. It is therefore imperative to lay good foundation for STEM in schools for students. We therefore applaud the initiatives like the Sasol Techno X for exposing our young people to STEM education, particularly our TVET students, as I have heard that we are also working with them. Thank you very much to the Sasol Foundation for helping us in destigmatizing, particularly our TVET education system, and also dispelling the notion that TVETs are for those young people who are academically less gifted. And I do not believe that. I know that in the past, some people even refer to technical colleges as dorm schools. And I think that's a perception that the Sasol Foundation is helping us to change, that you will never agree that a mechanical engineer from TVET colleges will fix your car if he could not apply and use his brains. I don't believe in that. You'll never believe that if you look around everything here, in this room where we are seated and where our viewers are seated, everything that you look around, from the clothes we are wearing, the food we are eating, each and every one of those things have got a touch of an artisan. So if we all begin to think in that way, we'll then realize the importance of the TVET education system. How ready are our young people to meet the demands of the so-called the fourth industrial revolution, as I've mentioned, as well as the issues around climate change? Are our youth ready to partake in digital economy with all its digital disruptions? If the answer is no, how do we plan to make them ready? We have, for instance, witnessed that some of the banks have already decided to close their branches and introduce what is called digital banking solutions. So if our curriculum is still preparing our students to go seek employment in those closed branches, then we need to review our strategies. Some of the critical questions we need to ask ourselves, both as public and private sectors, for instance, how many of our young people, for instance, are well equipped to partake in the so-called the green economy, the hydrogen economy, ocean economy, as well as digital economy? Are we really doing enough as government and private sector in making sure that we are not setting our future generations up for failure? As a country, for instance, we have set ourselves some of our important national targets through the National Development Plan. We are supposed to be producing by 2030, 30,000 artisans per annum. And that will rely on the number of students that are involved in the STEM programs. Producing high-quality artisans will require some collaborative efforts from both government and industry stakeholders, such as Sasol Foundation, with great initiatives such as the Sasol Techno X. Government alone will never be able to achieve this progress. Hence, we wish to really applaud the Sasol Foundation for their 20 years of dedication in the emancipation of our less privileged youth and communities. If I was in a big room and asked those that are at home, you can clap hands for the Sasol Foundation. It is through programs such as this that is pioneering the way for the transformation of our basic as well as our post-school education system, including our TVET colleges, in making them ever more relevant and responsive to the industry labor demands. At the same time, lifting their capacity to deliver high-level quality occupational programs. Our youth should be prepared and ready to partake not only in our South African economy, but even at an international level. South Africa is part of the BRICS member countries, for instance, where we are expected to compete with the likes of Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Are our students prepared to compete at that level? So if we take, for instance, an artisan from Brazil, from Russia, from India, or from China, how are we competing with those artisans from those countries? The issue of our skills competency level speaks directly to how, as a country, produce goods and services for both local and export consumption. I want to argue that the fact that we continue consuming more products from the countries like China and other Western countries relates to our skills competency levels. The continuing imbalances that we are witnessing in terms of our import-export exchanges speaks volumes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is against this backdrop that I strongly believe that the TVET college sector is placed or is at the epicenter of rescuing our country from this dilemma we are finding ourselves. Through a properly structured and transformed curriculum that is both relevant and responsive to the needs of the country, I strongly believe that TVET colleges are the solution to improving our skills competence as a country. We therefore call upon government, business, and nation at large to invest more on TVET education. We want to see TVET colleges becoming institutions of first choice for our young people rather than being relegated to second and third choices. To the Sasol Foundation, we wish to once more convey our appreciation and congratulations message in your 20th anniversary of the Sasol Techno X. To our youth, this is the greatest opportunity for you, and you should grab it with both hands and be appreciative of the fact that we have been privileged to become one of the beneficiaries of this great initiative. Congratulations to all of you. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to say once more, I thank you.
Thank you very much, DDG Dr. Sam Zungu, for not only highlighting the role of education in driving economic change, but for specifically focusing on the role of technical vocational skills, particularly in a society such as ours, where there is a vast need for these practical skills in order to build a modern economy. And as you have stated, developed nations have already gotten this right. So we wish you all the best as you continue to build traction for our technical skills and our TVET colleges who are delivering these skills. And of course, Sasol will continue to be a partner in building the correct narrative. So thank you very much, sir.